For 7 years, I believed nothing could surprise me at Northstone Dynamics, the tech giant where 80-hour weeks were normal and gratitude wasn't. But the morning my director, Evan Carter, called me into conference room 14B, I felt something move in the air, like a storm front rolling in. The blinds were closed. The fluorescent light above us flickered like it was nervous. Evan sat stiff in her navy blazer, perfectly manicured fingers stacked like she practiced this moment. Beside her sat Cole, HR's version of a silent sniper, expressionless, hands folded, waiting to pull a trigger she'd clearly already cocked. "Avery," Evan said, using the version of my name she only used when she wanted to fake empathy. "Northstone is restructuring its analytics division. Your role as lead systems architect is being eliminated effective immediately." She paused for effect. She expected tears. Shock. Panic. Compliance. But she didn't know me as well as she thought. "My name is Avery Cole, and this is the day they tried to erase me. This is also the day their downfall began. The restructuring wasn't real." I knew that before Dana slid the severance packet across the table. On page 3, bolded, was the line I expected. "All proprietary assets, frameworks, and datasets developed under Northstone Dynamics are owned by Northstone Dynamics." Except I never built SynapseQ, the predictive operations system, under them. I built it 2 years before they acquired my previous startup. SynapseQ was the reason they bought us. SynapseQ was my life's work. A system that could forecast operational failures days in advance. A system with 1.3 million lines of code that only I understood end to end. A system worth, conservatively, $400 million in enterprise contracts. Evan smiled like a cat with cream. "Avery, the expectation is that you hand over all documentation, credentials, and codebase access by 5 p.m. This is standard protocol." Standard protocol. The same way theft becomes policy when the thief has a corporate badge. A week earlier, a new VP had parachuted in, Michael Reed, Silicon Valley's favorite golden boy with a reputation for 3 things: big promises, bigger failures, and taking credit for whatever women built under him. He needed a flagship success before Q4. My system, my work, was his lifeline. Travis had been trying to get my code-based documentation for months. He masked it as transparency initiatives. Then disaster preparedness. Then executive oversight. I refused each time. So now they were doing it the American corporate way. Erase the person, keep the product. I skimmed the severance packet. They expected me to walk out with 3 months' pay and a corporate NDA that would silence me forever. Evan clasped her hands again. "We hope you'll transition gracefully." Gracefully. Another word meaning, don't fight back. I stood. I smiled. And I said nothing. Because while they had spent weeks planning how to steal my system, I had spent years making sure nobody could. SynapseQ wasn't just code, it was a survival mechanism. In 2018, I was running Cole Labs, a tiny analytics startup operating out of a repurposed dentist's office. The ceiling leaked. The heating died every January. But the ideas inside that space, they were alive. I wrote the original SynapseQ blueprint at 2:13 a.m. after a server crash nearly destroyed a client's operation. I realized then, companies didn't need analytics. They needed foresight. I built SynapseQ like a living organism, modular, adaptive, self-correcting. And I embedded something under the surface, invisible to anyone who didn't know where to look. A root lock system. A master key only I had. A failsafe that tied the entire engine to my encrypted identity token. Without it, SynapseQ would run, but only at 40% capability. Just enough to look functional. Just enough to hide the fact that it was crippled. The perfect trap. As I walked out of 14B, engineers whispered around their monitors. Some looked away.
Some mouthed, "I'm sorry."
Others clearly knew what was happening and didn't care. But then there was Sienna Brooks, the only genuine senior engineer left. His eyes widened when he saw the envelope in my hand. "They're taking Synapse Q," he whispered. I didn't confirm or deny. He nodded once, a silent understanding. Eli knew better than anyone. If Northstone tried to run Synapse Q without me, things would go very, very wrong. At 4:17 p.m., an email blast went out from Michael Reed. Synapse Q will transition under infrastructure ops effective immediately. Avery's contributions are appreciated. Contributions. Not ownership. Not authorship. Just contributions. 30 minutes later, security arrived at my desk. 2 guards. Gray uniforms. Apologetic faces. "Ms. Cole, we're required to escort you." Standard protocol again. I left without a scene. But as I walked through the security gates, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Eli. Just 3 words. "Check the logs." I opened my secure remote dashboard. And I saw it. Northstone had already attempted to bypass my root lock. They triggered the first layer failsafe. A silent log entry timestamped 4:42 p.m. Severity level. Critical. Message. Unauthorized kernel access attempt. They didn't know it yet, but that was the moment their empire started to crack. I didn't sleep that night. Not from heartbreak, but from clarity. There's a unique kind of peace that comes when someone shows you their true face. The hurt stops, and the planning begins. By sunrise, I already knew one thing. Logan Reed was about to learn what happens when you mistake kindness for weakness. Avery walks into the apartment kitchen. Logan is making coffee like nothing happened, like he didn't shatter a 6-year relationship the night before. "Logan. Ave, about last night." "Avery. No. Save it. You've said enough." Her voice isn't shaky anymore. It's cold. Controlled. Lethal. Logan blinks. He wasn't expecting calm. Men like him expect tears. They don't know what to do with silence sharper than a knife. Avery steps outside the apartment building. A black SUV pulls up. Colton Hayes, the private investigator Sienna recommended. He steps out, handing Avery a small folder. "Everything you asked for. And more." Inside, photos of Logan and Chloe. A timeline. Phone logs. Financial transfers. A pregnancy clinic appointment under Chloe Harper's name. Avery feels nothing. Just confirmation. Avery. Perfect. Now I know exactly where to cut. Avery, Sienna, and Maya sit in Sienna's apartment, war planning across a coffee table covered in documents, screenshots, and timelines. "Maya. Girl, this isn't revenge. This is a corporate takedown." "Sienna. And he deserves every chapter of it." Avery spreads out the evidence like puzzle pieces. "Avery. He wanted to play games behind my back? Fine. I'll show him what strategic planning actually looks like." Colton's report reveals everything Avery needs. 1. Logan's promotion wasn't earned. His big project. Avery wrote half the proposal. His boss, Evan Carter, has no idea. 2. Logan's finances are a mess. Gambling habits. Debt hidden from his parents. And a secret joint account with Chloe. 3. Chloe's pregnancy. Not Logan's. Not even close. 4. Logan's parents, Victoria and Michael Reed. They adore Avery, and they hate being embarrassed publicly. Avery doesn't smile, but her eyes do. Avery. He doesn't even realize the house of cards he built. And now, I get to blow gently. Logan storms into the apartment that evening. Logan. Are you seriously ignoring me? Chloe is crying her eyes out. Avery calmly pours herself water. Avery. She'll be fine. She's been taking comfort from more than one man. He freezes. Avery hands him a single photo from Colton's file. Chloe. With another guy. At the clinic. Holding hands. Logan goes pale. Logan. Wait, what is this?
Avery, what did you?
Avery. No. Logan. What did you do? Beat. But don't worry. You're about to learn consequences. She walks past him, utterly unbothered, and leaves. Avery arrives at a fancy restaurant. Waiting inside. Victoria and Michael Reed, Logan's parents. Victoria stands immediately and hugs Avery tightly. Victoria. Sweetheart. Logan told us you two had a fight, but he wouldn't say why. Avery calmly places Colton's folder on the table. Victoria opens it and gasps. Michael's jaw slowly tightens. Michael. He did this to you? Avery nods once. Victoria's eyes fill with anger, not at Avery, at her own son. Victoria. Give us
24 hours.
Avery doesn't have to say another word. Logan arrives at his parents' house later that night. He expects sympathy. What he gets is rage. Victoria throws the folder at his chest. Victoria. How dare you cheat on Avery Cole? How dare you embarrass this family? Michael steps closer. Michael. You're cut off. Every business connection, every financial safety net, gone. Logan stutters. It was a mistake. A moment. I didn't. Victoria. She deserved better than you.
And now she will get better.
The next morning, Avery walks into Evan Carter's office. She places a USB on his desk. Avery. This is the real version of the project proposal. By the person who actually wrote it. Evan listens. Quiet. Intense. Then, Evan. Logan is fired. Effective immediately. But then he surprises her. Evan. Would you like to lead the project? Officially. Avery finally smiles. The first real smile in days. Avery. Yes, I would. Within 72 hours. Heavy check mark fired. Heavy check mark cut off financially. Heavy check mark Chloe dumps him when she realizes he's broke. Heavy check mark his parents refuse to speak to him. Heavy check mark Avery's friends block him. Heavy check mark social circle knows the truth. Heavy check mark his own boss forwards him Avery's acceptance email. Logan tries calling Avery. Dozens of times. She doesn't answer a single one. Avery meets with lawyer Rachel Sterling. Rachel reviews the financial records and smiles. Rachel. Oh, he's going to choke on this. You're good to proceed. Avery signs the final document. It's not a restraining order. It's not a lawsuit. It's something far more humiliating. A notarized public statement signed by Logan admitting to infidelity and misconduct, required to clear Avery's name professionally and socially. Logan signs it. Because he has no choice. Avery walks away from the notary office. Light. Free. Untouchable. He thought he ended my life. But all he did was end his place in it.